Chief Executive John Lee says Hong Kong must not let down its guard as the SAR is constantly facing emergent national security threats. Security Chief Chris Tang has held a joint operation conducted by national security officials from Beijing and Hong Kong to investigate a suspected case of collusion with foreign forces. And Iran and Israel trade missile attacks, further escalating tensions and raising fears of a wider war in the Middle East. Good evening, you're watching Cable News. I'm Cheryl Yun. Chief Executive John Lee has warned that the SAR still faces ever-present and ever-changing risks despite sweeping security laws enacted over the past 5 years, specifically highlighting artificial intelligence-enabled espionage and lone wolf terrorism as critical emerging threats of national security. Quinton Yang shares more.
Speaking to reporters ahead of his third anniversary in office, the city leader emphasized that vigilance cannot be relaxed amid global turbulence, with security remaining a top priority. No one fully understands how artificial intelligence is reshaping spycraft. We must monitor this evolving landscape closely and perfect our legal frameworks and enforcement mechanisms based on actual circumstances. While lone wolf terrorist attacks occur overseas, we need strengthened intelligence analysis and personal training to address such threats, he said. Meanwhile, as the Legislative Council shift is slated for December, Lee reiterated that the Patriots governing Hong Kong principle will dominate the elections, barring anyone deemed to betray Hong Kong's interests or act as foreign agents. When pressed on whether political space has narrowed, Lee asserted that boundless opportunities exist for those committed to the city's welfare under the one country, two systems principle, provided they prioritize national interests. Quinton Yang, Cable News.
On the economy front, the city chief pledged to double efforts against external challenges and expand Hong Kong's global network into new markets. Lee also outlined key priorities, including attracting talent and investment, as well as accelerating the development of the northern metropolis. Against a backdrop of global geopolitical uncertainties and the Sino-US tariff war, the city's chief acknowledged both supportive forces and countercurrents facing Hong Kong. Lee pledged to double up efforts to diversify the city's markets, spotlighting opportunities for greater cooperation in South America and Central Asia.
The countercurrent is against me. If I still want to swim in that direction, I swim double fast. I make double the effort. So I'm asking everybody in the government to double the effort to tell Hong Kong's true story, the true good Hong Kong story. There are many countries in this world. So we go to the new areas because there are just so many different parts of this world we can do good business and building relations with. So I'll expand my network in simple terms. I'll not just focus on one or two countries or markets. I'll expand.
Lee highlighted his administration's success in attracting talent and investment to boost Hong Kong's competitiveness, emphasizing that the city is on the right path and will do more to remain a leading international financial center. Beyond reinforcing existing strengths, Lee stressed the importance of seizing untapped opportunities. He emphasized the urgent need to accelerate the Northern Metropolis project, aiming to transform this region, which covers 1/3 of Hong Kong's land area, into a hub for economic growth.
We should develop the Northern Metropolis not just as a place for housing. It has to be developed as a place for industry to grow and thrive. So that's a clear policy I'm making now for my government team, to develop Northern Metropolis faster for both for living, but also for development of INT and also ensuring industries will develop and grow.
Security Chief Chris Tang confirmed Hong Kong police, in their first joint operation with Beijing's Office for Safeguarding National Security, questioned 6 individuals and searched their properties over alleged foreign collusion. While emphasizing no arrests were made, Tang stated authorities are assessing whether the case needs to be handed over to Beijing. Quinton Yang reports.
Thursday's operation targeted a local organization and its 6 members for suspected violations of the Hong Kong national security law between November 2020 and June 2024. Authorities have confiscated the individuals' travel documents, raided their Kwai Chung office, and seized bank records and equipment as evidence. Briefing the case in a radio interview, Tang said authorities are assessing whether it meets criteria for Beijing's direct intervention under Article 55 of the NSL. The provision allows central government's direct jurisdiction for cases involving foreign interference, severe threats, or if Hong Kong cannot enforce the law effectively. This time, we have helped to arrange some interviews. Under the current circumstances, where Article 55 has not been invoked, the Hong Kong police are responsible for carrying out law enforcement, Tang said, stressing the joint mechanism was normal and reasonable. Tang separately addressed national security risks, condemning soft resistance tactics, such as a banned mobile game, Reversed Front Bonfire, labeling it highly malicious for promoting Hong Kong and Taiwan separation. He warned downloading or funding the game could violate security laws, as it poisons young minds under the guise of entertainment. Quinton Yang, Cable News.
The strong wind signal number 3 is now in force and will remain until at least noon tomorrow. Although a higher signal number 8 is unlikely, Hong Kongers should stay alert of squally showers when they're out on Sunday.
We expect that with Wu Tip moving away from Hong Kong and weakening gradually, local winds will moderate progressively tomorrow afternoon. Unless Wu Tip maintains a higher intensity over inland areas of Guangdong and adopts a track closer to the Pearl River estuary, the chance of issuing the signal number 8 is rather low.
Strong winds are hitting many parts of the city today, with gusts reaching gale force on higher ground in the west. Wu Tip's outer rain bands are also bringing heavy squally showers. While Wu Tip will depart and dissipate on Monday and Tuesday, an active southwesterly airstream will keep bringing heavy showers to the Guangdong coast. The weather watchdog is urging everyone to stay on guard and steer clear of water sports. Earlier, the center of Wu Tip has slammed into Leizhou City in Guangdong Province around noon today, just hours after making its first landfall on Hainan Island's Dongfang City last night. Despite weakening to a tropical storm, Wu Tip unleashed destructive winds and torrential rains across the region, forcing the evacuation of over 28,600 residents in Guangdong. Authorities in both Guangdong and neighboring Guangxi provinces enacted extensive precautionary measures, recalling all offshore fishing boats to port, and personnel were evacuated from fishing rafts, marine ranches, and other offshore installations. Besides, the National Fire and Rescue Administration has pre-deployed 3,100 firefighters to the typhoon-affected regions. Environment Secretary Jie Chin-wan stated that the newly introduced national security conditions for eateries and entertainment venues licensing had clearly stated acts of offensive behavior, reminding citizens not to test the limits. Scarlett Chan reports.
The national security additions require licensees or associated persons not to endanger or offend national security conditions. Offensive behaviors that threaten public safety may lead to licenses being voided. Taking to the airwaves, Tse declared that the licenses clearly stated what constitutes acts of offensive behavior. He reminded those worrying their actions may violate regulations not to try the limit. When asked if employers are implicated if their employee commits an offensive act, Tse replied that employers are responsible for telling their staff about the requirements for safeguarding national security. Meanwhile, with the first phase of the ban on single-use plastics enforced for a year, the Phase 2 ban is set to roll out this year. Tang noted that complete bans on plastic cups, containers, and other items will only be imposed when the alternatives are mature enough to replace existing plastic products. He added that authorities plan to invite more restaurants to participate in product testing in 1 to 2 months, with over 100 alternatives ready for the trial. Scarlett Chan, Cable News.
With the recruitment of more than 200 immigration officers and assistants underway, around 1,400 Hong Kongers took part in the Immigration Department's Recruitment Experience Day, catching a glimpse of the jobs and recruitment process. The Immigration Services Institute in Tuen Mun features a mock arrival and departure hall, e-channel simulators, and a mock courtroom where trainees can learn about how to testify and present evidence in court. Under the guidance of the recruitment team, they tried out different kinds of equipment, including riot shields, gas masks, and pepper spray. A physical fitness test workshop was also held, where applicants were scored and were explained in detail each set of actions on the spot, getting prepared for the formal recruitment. The Immigration Department targets to hire 70 officers and 170 assistants this year. Applications for the officer posts will close on June 30th, while applications for the assistant positions will open all year round. Iran has launched retaliatory strikes against Israel, hitting targets in Tel Aviv and other parts of the country. The long-running conflict between the two nations escalated after Israel attacked Iranian nuclear and military targets yesterday. Sachin Kadvi reports.
The damage was clearly visible at daybreak as Israeli rescue teams tried to find survivors under the rubble left behind by Iranian drone attacks. 2 people were killed and 19 others reportedly injured. Earlier in the night, air raid sirens could be heard across Tel Aviv as Iran launched retaliatory strikes on the Israeli city. Many incoming projectiles were intercepted by Israel's Iron Dome defense system. Some made it through, blowing up buildings in suburban Tel Aviv. In the neighborhood of Ramat Gan, rescuers pulled out 15 people who were trapped after their house was hit. Explosions were heard and seen over the sky in Tehran on Friday night after Israel continued to bomb targets in the Iranian capital. Israel's preemptive strike against Iran a day earlier sparked the latest round of hostilities. Some of Iran's top military commanders and nuclear scientists were killed. At least 78 people, mostly civilians, also died in those attacks, and more than 300 were injured. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said more is yet to come and called on the people of Iran to stand up for their freedom from an oppressive regime.
The nation of Iran and the nation of Israel have been true friends since the days of Cyrus the Great. And the time has come for you to unite around your flag and your historic legacy by standing up for your freedom from an evil and oppressive regime. It has never been weaker.
World leaders have called for restraint as the fighting continues to escalate. Fears of a wider war in the Middle East has already sent the price of oil soaring. Sachin Kadvi, Cable News.
On to the weather now. Mainly cloudy with squally showers and thunderstorms tomorrow. Strong winds will persist with occasional gale force gusts offshore and on high ground. Temperatures will range between 27 and 31 degrees. That's our news tonight. I'm Cheryl Yun. Thanks for watching and good night.